Can I be God of War at power level 1 on the hardest difficulty? Let's find out. As usual, I cut down a tree. Then my boy showed up. I then pulled up to my wife's funeral in the most badass way possible. I then cremated my wife, and then me and the boy went to go hunt deer in the direction of deer. And oh shit, we found it. I told the boy to hold his fire, but he ignored me and shot anyway, and I verbally abused him.
I'm sorry.
I then found the first enemies. Were they hard? Absolutely not. These jogger were getting juggled. I then found a Eden apple, but before I continue any further, I'ma explain the rules. I am not, under any circumstances, allowed to go above level 1, which means I basically have to wear the default armor the whole time. And I can upgrade my boy because he doesn't have a power level, which means I can also upgrade my runic attacks, my runic summons. And yeah, we found the deer and Atreus nailed that loser, but Atreus couldn't kill him himself. So I had to finish what I started. I trolled and yeeted my boy and threw my deer, and I wasn't gonna let that slide.
Cause band-aids won't fix the wristlets. Carved up a 6'6". I was on the list. I grew up a misfit. All black lipstick, white face paint, tongue out like a kiss disc. My partner gave me 6 bricks and he
I then gave the troll an adjustment.
You're nothing to me!
Boy, look at me. Look at me, boy. Boy, look at me. You are not ready.
What? Are you serious?
Me and the boy went home and someone showed up at my doorstep. I then started beating the stranger's ass, and then I killed him, and we became newborn children. I then continued my journey as a bald man. Okay, let me explain why this challenge is hard. If you have eyes, you can see that this guy has a power level of 1, which means he's an easy enemy. But if I'm fighting a level 4 to 5 enemy, he's gonna one-shot me and I can't even parry him. Anyway, I became a smarty and solved the puzzle. Then me and boy found some boar tracks and we were interrupted by a nasty ass troll. But Cheyenne, he has a purple health bar. How'd you kill him? It's quite simple, really. Anyway, I took down that nasty ass troll and me and the boy found the magical boar. And Atreus nailed that loser, but I lost my boy. Oh shit. What was I without Atreus? He was the only thing I could upgrade. Or was it a blessing in disguise? It sure was, cause the boy led me straight to a hot woman. I then became a simp and carried her boar all the way to her house. And she asked me to get some flowers.
I also need lamb's cress. Do you mind? It's a white petal flower in my garden. Just a handful.
Work, you better work, Kratos.
Fine. Lamb's cress.
I'm a f***ing God of War. Anyway, we met the thickest boy in all the 9 realms and he ear raped me. We found a blue dwarf and I upgraded my boy. And I found level 2 enemies. These guys could kill me in 3 hits, so I had to keep my distance and use range attacks. I had to become a pussy to fight the Tassel Worm. I then found Sindri, who was apparently Brock's brother. And yeah, I then fought some enemies. I then found some more enemies, but they aren't the star of the show. It was Shrek, my long lost homeboy. I could clearly tell he lost all his layers, so he had to be exterminated. I then jumped on Shrek's back without his consent and started killing his brethren. We then made it to the mountain where we were interrupted by the black smoke. And to remind you, while we're here, I was supposed to spread my wife's ashes at the highest peak in all the realms. Freya then came out of nowhere and told us we needed the light of Alfheim in Alfheim to remove the smoke. That's a lot of Alfheims. I then pushed the entirety of Tyr's temple just so we could go to Alfheim. And the boy complimented me.
That was impressive. You didn't hurt your back, did you?
I did not hurt my back.
And oh boy, we made it to Alfheim. I was so happy to get bonding time with Freya, but she was ripped back into Midgard. I swear if it weren't for the Rage Talisman, this challenge would be damn near impossible. I kid you not, I would go AFK for minutes just to recharge my rage meter. I then destroyed the hentai tentacle monster, and I spent way too much time trying to do this puzzle. But something happened. Some elf came out of nowhere and tried to penetrate me, but Atreus took care of him and we went on ahead. As we were exploring, my boy was then kidnapped. I inserted my cricket skills into Kratos without his consent and I nailed that elf. I then activated my Balkan rage and then started smashing the elves. Wait, that sounds kinda wrong. Anyway, me and the boy went somewhere and we got jumped by some over-leveled elves. How'd I handle this? Well, you see, what I do is I take my Crocs, put that bitch in sports mode, and run for my damn life. Here's a visual representation. Long story short, we were about to get out of Alfheim, but something was wrong. I then made it to the final boss of Alfheim, who was called Svartalfjolfur, which probably means Dark Elf King. But was he hard? Hell no. I killed him my first try, and the boy was disrespecting me.
I said the only time you care to talk to me is when you need me to translate for you.
And then he said this about my wife.
Not like you would even care if she was.
Mind your tongue, boy! Until our journey is over, one of us must remain focused. Do not mistake my silence for lack of grief. Mourn how you wish. Leave me to my own.
Anyway, Brock upgraded my axe.
What did you do?
It's better.
I then found some over-leveled enemies, but because I'm so good at this game, they died instantly. I then cleared the black smoke and then I found some explosive dudes, but they were kinda easy. To remind you guys how weak I am, this fireball is going to one-shot me.
Father, get up!
I then fought a troll and he was kinda chill. Thandi joke Marley. Get it? Because he's a ice troll. Most enemies in this game can be cheesed by throwing your axe at them. So anyway, I killed the troll. I then fought some enemies on the lift. But that's boring. You know what's not boring? I made sure to slash his knuckles after that. Anyway, Sindri was getting jumped by the dragon.
You kill something that big?
Nah, let's run away. I made it to the dragon's mouth and I started cutting his tongue. Now that's a low move, even for someone like me. I then started abusing his eyebrows and I got sick of his shit. My boy then got shock arrows, and I saw a familiar
You two
face.
still tripping over yourselves to impress Daddy?
The tattooed man. Tracks show he now travels with a child. Where would they go next?
Why would I know that?
You're the smartest man alive, aren't you?
Smarter than all the dead ones, too.
You help me, I help you. Tell me where they are, and I'll talk to Odin.
Your father won't let me go, Balder, and he won't let you kill me.
Mimir became a real jerk though.
You have nothing to offer me, so take your questions, take your threats, take these two worthless wankers, and piss off!
I then questioned Mimir's knowledge.
Why does the son of Odin hunt us?
Okay, there are a few gaps in my knowledge.
Mimir then told me the highest peak in all the realms was in Jotunheim and not Midgard. So, obviously, I cut off Mimir's head and we found Brock.
Brock! Brock! Brock!
What? I'm on a fucking break. Don't hear me screeching at you whenever you're twiddling your short and curlies. Little canker throat wouldn't know proper weight and balance if it were dangling off his chut.
What? Freya then flipped out on my boy. I was ready to beat the shit out of her, but because I'm a feminist, I let it slide. Freya then calmed down and gave boy her arrows. I then revived Mimir so he could badmouth my enemies. Oh, and Freya told me she was a god, and I was absolutely pissed. She pulled the ultimate Uno reverse on my ass.
Are you really going to lecture me about that?
We are leaving, boy.
You're welcome.
We then met the world serpent, and he ate a statue of Thor for some reason. Yeah, so he then got kind of mad, but it's all good.
What is it?
Oh, nothing to be concerned about.
I made it to Tomor's corpse, and I fought some enemies. This part was genuinely hard. I was about to jump out the window. I died so many times. I'll show a montage. Right when you think you're safe, an ogre shows up, and if you die, you have to restart the whole fight. But somehow, some way, I did it. I fought a traveler, but that's boring. I fought on a lift, but that's boring. I did some push-ups, but that's boring. I'd rather talk about this.
Surrender. The All-Father demands it. Good.
Magni and Modi were tough, bro. But because this part had checkpoints, I ultimately got past. Anyway, I let Magni hold my axe.
How did you...
हरामदिया खनजीरा लांतिया दलिया बगैरता
Son of a bitch!
I then went to go check if Magni was really dead. I then got the chisel and I continued my life as a bald man until Modi showed up and started electrocuting me. My boy flipped out and now he was sick and I had to take him to Freya. And who the hell blew the horn here?
Somebody just called the serpent.
Freya told me I needed to go to Helheim, so I went home and got the Blades of Chaos. I then got my ass handed to me, and then I went to Helheim. And did I mention how much I hate Helheim? This part was actually so hard. I kept dying and dying, and I was about to throw this game in the trash, but eventually I had gotten past somehow. And shout out to this bird. Anyway, I got the Bridge Keeper's heart, and wait a minute. Zeus? I killed your ass when I was 9 years old. Brock then told me something.
Hey, so you know that shortcut between realms? Well, I made it better. Or I might have broke it.
We use that.
I know you do. So I took a few gusts from them winds of hell and made it so it ain't just one way. Now you can use it to travel to and from. If I didn't break it.
Then we can take it to Freya.
There's an idea, brother.
The boy was now well and good to go. The video is getting a bit long, so I'll just speedrun what happened. I found some death traps and then gifted my son a knife. He did something with the black rune. And guess how I killed the Grendels? The Crocs never failed me. We're now in the end game, boys. Baldur showed up out of nowhere.
It's me.
My boy betrayed me, and I started beating Baldur's ass. Then he started beating my ass. I then bent Baldur over, and he said this.
And when the bridge opens, the full weight of Asgard will come crashing down on you. It's over.
Is it?
I then made it to Helheim, and I made sure to verbally abuse the boy.
हरामदिया खनजीरा लांतिया दलिया बगैरता जानवर हरामदिया
We are here because of you.
I was chilling on the ship, but Shrek came out of nowhere, and this time he had layers. And my homeboy Shrek was now a threat, so I had to take him out. I then got the Unity Stone.
Step beyond, and the Unity Stone protected him. Ready?
Ready.
Well, if this is it, lads, it's been an honor.
Our faith head.
This is incredible!
Okay, now imagine this. You're level 1, okay? And you're fighting 60 level 6 enemies. Anyway, like always, this part hard. I got past. Woohoo. Me and the boy, like, got the Jotunheim Tower back. But something was wrong.
Темная ночь, только пули свистят по степи. Только...
Sorry about that. Feeling much better.
How are we supposed to look inside the snake?
Inside? Oh no!
Let's see what Jormungandr has to say about that.
It's the statue lost to us.
He thinks it might still be in his stomach. And he's open to letting you roll into his mouth to look inside.
Ew. Really?
By the by, he's not wild about it either.
I then sailed into Jormungandr. And why the fuck does Jormungandr have a whole ass ship inside of him? Anyway, we got Mimir's eye back. Me and the boy were kicked out of Jormungandr's stomach for whatever reason, and we landed near Thalmor. And Jormungandr fell down in the ocean, burst out a baby Balder.
Do you have any idea at all, what you have cost me? Shut your fucking mouth!
Balder was hard, bro. It took me a lot of tries, but eventually I removed Balder from existence. Okay, I've done this already, but I'm gonna do it again.
Good decisions, I guess when you missing Papa, you tend to be lacking vision. I marvel how we avenge it, split it with the opinions, divided by our positions, suspicious of our condition. Even though people killing it, lying to get commission. Cause you can live with somebody and never know their intention. These politicians be selling my people that science fiction. I'm guided by my conviction, they think it's a contradiction. I bleed on my composition, my flow is an epidemic. You might need a paramedic as soon as you try and listen. I'm giving you niggas crack, spitting at Richard Nixon. I'm blacker than expedition, driven by presidential security team.
As I was choking out Balder and I was about to kill him, but I let go. But then he started choking Freya out. And I wasn't gonna let that happen.
Why? Why do you even care? You could have walked away.
बकवास बंद कर कुत्तिया
Freya then swore to kill me, but I knew she'd come back eventually. I then had a moment with my boy. You're welcome. And we made it to Jotunheim.
We're so close.
Okay, but why do these faces on the wall look like Qaid-e-Azam, Rama Iqbal, and Qaid-e-Azam's sister? The giants had foreseen our entire journey somehow, but something was wrong.
We're so close to the end now.
Yes. Yes, we are.
Me and the boy then spread Faye's ashes and Kratos then actually told a good story.
So, why'd you want to name me Atreus? I know it can't be for a god.
No. He was a soldier. A Spartan.
The great warrior?
All Spartans are great warriors. We trained from birth. Our lives were discipline, duty, battle, and death. Life was grim, and we greeted it grimly. But Atreus of Sparta was unlike the rest of us. He wore a smile even in the worst of times. He was happy. He inspired us to hope that though we were machines of war, Yet there was humanity in us. Goodness. When the day came for him to lay down his life in battle, his sacrifice saved countless others and turned the tide in our favor. I carried him home on his shield and buried him with all the honors of Spartan custom. His memory was a comfort in dark times.
Wow, you actually told a good story. Amir missed it.
Okay, so I then went home to rest.
Sleep.
Way ahead of you.
The ball!
So, can you be God of War at level 1 on the hardest difficulty? Apparently yes, I had a hard time with this challenge, but I enjoyed editing it. But anyways, hope y'all enjoyed the video, and make sure to subscribe and like the video because I have kids to feed. Anyway, goodbye.